what happened, Wally, was that fall, I was in New York, and I met this young Japanese Buddhist priest named Kozan, and I thought he was Puck from the Midsummer Night's Dream. You know, he had this beautiful, delicate smile. I thought he was the little prince. So, naturally, I decided to go off to the Sahara Desert to work on the little prince with 2 actors and this Japanese monk.
You did?
Well, I mean, I was still in a very peculiar state at that time, Wally. You know, I would look in the rear view mirror of my car and see little birds flying out of my mouth. I remember always being exhausted in that period. I always felt weak. You know, I really didn't know what was going on with me. And I would just sit out there all alone in the country for days and do nothing but write in my diary. And I was always thinking about death.
But you went to the Sahara.
Oh, yes. We went off into the desert, and we rode through the desert in camels, and we rode, and we rode, and then at night we would walk out under that enormous sky and look at the stars. I just kept thinking about the same things that I was always thinking about at home, particularly about Chiquita. In fact, I thought about just about nothing but my marriage. And then I remember one incredibly dark night, being at an oasis, and there were palm trees moving in the wind, and I could hear Kozan singing far away in that beautiful bass voice, and I tried to follow his voice along the sand. See, I thought he had something to teach me, Wally. And sometimes I would meditate with him. Sometimes I'd go off and meditate by myself. You know, I would see images of Chiquita. Once, I actually saw her growing old and her hair turning gray in front of my eyes, and I would just wail and yell my lungs out there on the dunes. Anyway, the desert was pretty horrible. It was pretty cold. We were searching for something, but we couldn't tell if we were finding anything. You know, the once Kozan and we were sitting on a dune and we just ate sand. No, we weren't trying to be funny. I started, then he started. We just ate sand and threw up. That's how desperate we were. In other words, we didn't know why we were there. We didn't know what we were looking for. The entire thing seemed completely absurd, arid, and empty. It was like a last chance or something.